What's going on, everyone? Today we have the 2019 Ford Edge Titanium. This is a very luxurious two-row SUV. It's redesigned for 2019. I can't wait to show it to you. I'm going to go through the exterior, the interior, and of course we're going to go for a test drive. Let's get started. Now, before we get started taking a look at this exterior, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to Rockwall Ford in Rockwall, Texas. They're very generous to let me show you guys this Ford Edge and get it ready for us today. If you're in the DFW area, please be sure to check them out, and I will put their information in the description below. So starting out on the exterior, we will have the trim levels at the SE, SEL, Titanium, what we have right here, and then the ST, which is their performance variant. This is the Titanium with the Titanium Elite package. So we've got pretty much all of the goodies that you can get on here. And starting out in the front of the vehicle, in terms of our features, we've got auto high beams, bi LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and the Titanium and ST get the signature LED lighting, which is optional on lower trims. LED fog light starting on the SEL trim level, and our grille even has active grille shutters to help out with aerodynamics and fuel efficiency. To the side, we do have our wheels they'll range from 18 all the way up to 21 inches on the ST, but we have 20 inches as equipped because we have the Titanium Elite package. Otherwise, the Titanium will give you 19-inch wheels. Tire width will range from 245 to 265, and of course that 265 is for the performance-oriented ST. Vented front brakes, solid disc brakes in the back, and then you'll get all vented brakes with optional performance brake pads on the ST trim level. And of course, you need that for your performance vehicles. Our mirrors are actually heated power with memory settings. We have the approach lamps, LED turn signals in them, and our model even gives us a dimming driver's side mirror, which is great. Now, in terms of length, comparing this to the Escape and the Explorer, this is right in the middle, with both of them being about 10 inches apart. So this is about 10 inches bigger than the Escape and about 10 inches smaller than the Explorer. This is just under 189 inches. It gives us 8 inches of ground clearance. We do have a capless fuel filler door, which is very convenient. LED tail lamps, our reverse sensing system, and then our dual brushed stainless steel exhaust tips are standard. For this 2019 Ford Edge, Ford wanted everyone to know that they have packed this thing full of safety features. I've got a long list of features for you to go. Standard on all trims is the Ford Co-Pilot 360. So we get automatic high beams, rear view camera, blind spot with cross traffic alert, a lane keeping system, pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking and pedestrian detection, forward collision warning, and dynamic brake support, and even post-collision braking. And available on the SEL trim level and up is the evasive steering, which actually will swerve to avoid an imminent crash, adaptive cruise control with stop and go, and lane centering technology. All right, so let's take a look at the cargo area, and optional on the SEL trim, you can do that. So that's always nice. You've got the foot activated lift gate, and right up there you've got a button right there. You can also open it on your key fob, of course, traditionally behind it. Got a nice handle over here, so that's always good to see. We've got quite a bit of space back here. It's about 39 behind the second row and 73.2 or something like that with the seats folded down. We do have a spare tire back here. Got your little fuel filler over there if you need that. And then a couple little storage bins, which is always really nice to see. Plus, on each side, we've got these little hooks. That's also nice. Got a little storage bin right there. Nice back area. A little cubby over here as well. There's also a light right here, so that's handy. Really well-rounded back or cargo area. 12-volt power outlet, and then check this out. You can power fold those seats down. That is really convenient, so you don't have to go into the back seat to do that. But it only works going down. It doesn't pull them back up. But still, a really nice cargo area, very spacious. Got your foot activated lift gate. Pretty nice overall. All right, so we do have the key fob right here. You get a intelligent key access with push button start on every single trim level. We have remote start, and let me show you how this works. We even actually get Ford's classic keypad or touchpad right up here. So the way this works is these lines right here, you just put your finger on it and it will lock. Otherwise, you got a sensor behind it. Stick your hand back there and you got easy entry, no problems at all. Hopping inside the Ford Edge, we do get some nice materials on the doors. This armrest is soft with some padding, even some stitching here and up there. Got automatic windows, our memory settings right here, which is good. I like this grab handle. This grab handle has a nice feel to it. It's plasticky in here, but I do like how it kind of goes through. Little storage bin right there, a bottle holder. Shut the door. Sounds pretty solid. And looking across the dash, you know, very familiar Ford design in here, but we'll go through some of the features in a bit. Let's start it up. We've got push button start, foot on the brake, hit that button, and we do have a leather steering wheel. You can option up to get a heated steering wheel, and heated steering wheels feel fantastic. Ford's heated steering wheel is the whole entire wheel, which is nice. We've got our lighting controls right over there, and you can open the rear gate right here as well. Change your interior brightness right here. We have rain sensing windshield wipers standard, which is a really nice feature. I do like how that works. You don't have to worry about messing with that. Steering wheel controls right here, cruise controls, lane centering, all that good stuff. Music controls. Everything's really easy to use, pretty ergonomically sound. The steering wheel itself does have a nice feel to it. We've got a little bit of a bulk grip right here. It's not too thin. Taking a look at our information display, it's pretty unique right here. We've actually got 4.2 inch screens around that speedometer right there, and you can customize this. I'll go through this in a second. Not all of them get this. It's standard on the titanium and optional on the SEL trim. So let's kind of scroll through this. Using our steering wheel controls, you can change your view over on that left side there. As you can see me scrolling through some of that stuff. I like how you can actually still see a tachometer. And then we've got some more options right here, your trip computers. So that's pretty cool. You can scroll through those. Just your regular fuel economy. You can see that instantaneous. All of your safety, driver assist stuff right here, which is really awesome. You can turn it off, turn it on, and then your settings, of course, that you get typically. And on this right side, as you can see, we've got the audio. You can scroll through that and change your mode. So that's pretty cool that you've got two different screens. It's like the Ranger. Let me know what you think. Do you like the two screens, or do you want one big screen or no screens? But then we've got our regular speedometer right there in the middle. So moving over to this right here, this is an 8-inch screen. Not all trim levels get this. The base trim level will actually get a 4.2-inch screen, but we have the 8-inch capacitive touch screen for the Ford Sync. That will give us Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It'll range from a 6 to a 9 to a 12 speaker system, and we have the 12 speaker system from B&O. And I haven't been able to spend a lot of time with this system, but in my short time, it has sounded very good and full. I do like that. The screen is not super responsive, but it is a nice screen overall. We do have navigation on here, of course, as well. You can pinch to zoom, and so that is nice. And I apologize for the writing on here. This is from the dealership, and I don't want to pull any stickers off. And we've got a little storage bin right up there. One more thing about this screen right here is that Wi-Fi, Sirius XM, those are both standard on all trim levels. So that's pretty cool. You can even control some of your climate stuff right here. Of course, you've got a lot more settings and things you can mess around with over here. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. Very customizable, very user-friendly, easy to use. We've got some physical buttons down here for our AC controls, which is dual zone AC. We've got a nice big volume knob, your seek and your tune. So that's good. You do still have some physical controls. Everything's pretty easy to use. We've got 3-tier ventilated and heated seats. Temperature controls down there, fan speed. So that is nice. This is an interesting layout right here, but it works actually, and it's not too bad at all. Even a CD player, for those of you that still want a CD player. Right below the screen, we have this button right here where we can scroll through different settings for our camera on the vehicle. We do have a camera in the front, which is nice. You can change a couple of those. Let me shift it into reverse. And we do have dynamic lines. We've even got a hitch line right there. You can see your parking sensors over there, or you can hit this little plus and make it so it's just that backup camera. And the line does move. The hitch line actually moves if you want to tow something or back directly up to something. Not something I'd expect in an SUV, but that is nice to have. Right below that, we have typical Ford. You can close it up. You can open it back up. We've got wireless charging down here, 2 smart and fast charging USB ports, and the wireless charging is optional on the SEL trim. The dual zone climate starts on the SEL trim, and our titanium model actually gives us an extra smart charging USB port. Now moving back here, our shifter is the rotary dial. Put it in park, you just spin S for sport mode, and you get used to it really fast. It saves some space. Electronic parking brake, couple cup holders, and my bottle does fit pretty easily in here. I have a large bottle, even a little cutout for some phones if they're small enough right there. Auto stop start feature, you can turn that off right there, so that's nice that you have that option. Ford parking, I've never used this. If anybody has used this to parallel park, please let me know how it works. I haven't been fortunate enough to use it yet. Parking sensors, you can turn those off or on. Little storage bin right there again, which is nice to store some more stuff. Nice soft armrest. This feels really nice. We've got one big bin right here, as you can see, and it's really deep. We've got a 12-volt power outlet. There's a light down there, and then we've got a smaller bin right here, and this is pretty awesome. It's softly lined, so you can keep some of your stuff separate. That's always nice. Right below the center console, we've got a little storage bin right there, and on the other side there's actually another 12-volt power outlet, so that's pretty sweet. Right up above, we've got vanity lights and mirrors, and this whole entire visor can slide out. We've got the panoramic Vista roof, is what Ford calls it. Let me open this up here. It goes way back there, so that's pretty nice. It's really large. This glass opens up pretty much all the way to that center pillar, and that moonroof is optional on the SEL trim, so that's pretty cool. You don't even have to get this titanium in order to get that. The controls for that moonroof or the panoramic roof are right up there. You can open just the shade, the entire visor, the glass, even tilt it. We've got garage control functions right here. Those are optional on the SEL trim for 3 of them. We have an automatic dimming rearview mirror, which is nice. Really nice cabin overall, and we can lock this glove box. Soft opening, no felt lining inside, but pretty decent size. One more thing about the titanium trim is we have ambient lighting, and I'm not at night right now, so you can't tell, and then an illuminated front door sill, which is pretty sweet. We've got different seats on every trim level. So starting on the base SE, you've got cloth, 6-way manual driver, 4-way passenger. Once you get to the SEL, you've got 10-way power. That includes lumbar support, cloth, but you can get optional heated, what they call Active X, not the real leather, but Active X material for your SEL trim. And then on the titanium, we've got 10-way leather trim seats that are heated and memory. We've got the memory settings over here on the floor. And these seats are pretty darn comfortable. I've been comfortable in here. This headrest can even adjust further forward if you wanted to, which I love. So this is really comfortable at 5'9". Even with this panoramic roof, I do still have some space. I can move my seat down a little bit too, and it can go up quite a ways. So it should be able to accommodate a lot of people. They've got some decent bolstering around them as well. They're actually fairly sporty, and I believe they do call them sport bucket seats. Comfortable seats overall. I've been happy with them. And then you can option to get perforated leather that gives you the ventilated function as well, which is what we have right here. Now let's take a look at the back seat, and the back seat is pretty spacious, and in fact, let me hop in here. Optional on any trim, you can get a dual rear headrest entertainment system. So something to keep in mind if you've got some children. We've got map pockets on both sides. We've got air vents back here. We've got optional 2-tier heated seats on each side. We've got a 12-volt power port right here and 110-volt house outlet right down there as well. Sorry about that camera angle. Plus a little storage bin right here, so that's really nice. How about over on the door? We've got a speaker right there. We've still got a nice soft armrest. This upper part is actually still soft too, so that's good to see. Right below that, we have a bottle holder, a little mini storage bin right there. And then when I'm sitting up tall, even with this panoramic roof right here at 5'9", I've got pretty good headroom. I don't have any hair touching or anything. And sitting behind myself at 5'9", where I had the driver's seat, I've got plenty of space and actually some really good foot space. There's a little hump in the middle. I have that seat all the way back. Let me go ahead and move over there. So with this seat all the way back, I can still fit right here with my feet comfortably at 5'9". Right over here in the middle, we've even got a folding armrest, a couple cup holders. They look like they can actually accommodate a pretty good sized bottle, so that's good to see. Overall, this back seat is pretty nice. Can't complain at all. The powertrain for the 2019 Ford Edge is 100% EcoBoost. You'll have two different options, a 2-liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost and a 2.7-liter 6-cylinder EcoBoost. So starting out with this 2.0-liter EcoBoost, it pushes out an extra 5 horsepower, so we've got 250 horsepower, 275 pound-feet of torque that comes out at 3,000 RPMs. And the 2.7 EcoBoost V6 will give you 335 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque at 2750 RPM. Now obviously that 2.7 is going to be what you get on the ST, the performance model. So hopefully we can get our hands on that sometime and test it out. Otherwise you'll get this 2-liter power plant. One thing to know is that those numbers were actually made with 93 premium fuel. It is not required. You can put 87 in here, but it is recommended for premium fuel, so something to keep in mind. And all of these Ford Edges will come with an 8-speed select shift transmission. And in terms of miles per gallon, that will help us achieve 22 in the city and 29 on the highway with front-wheel drive, and you'll lose 1 mile per gallon for all-wheel drive. The ST can get 19 in the city and 26 on the highway, and that is all-wheel drive only. This does have auto stop-start technology, which will kill the engine when you come to a stop occasionally, sometimes depending on your driving situations and the demands of the vehicle. And then you can tow up to 3,500 pounds. All right, everyone, we are off on the test drive for the Ford Edge. And my first impression is that this thing feels like a pretty quiet and serene cab, which is nice and something you'd expect for an SUV. Right off the bat with some acceleration, partly down, and I really like the way that turbo feels. You got a pretty good pull that came out of that. It's supposed to come out, the torque's supposed to come out at 3,000 RPM, and I really like how you actually still have a tachometer right here so you can watch that. One thing about the turbocharged engines nowadays is they're a little low on horsepower, but for everyday driving they're great because that torque comes out at a low level, so you put the pedal down just a little and it gives you some good thrust right off the bat. So very rarely do your RPMs ever have to get very high. Now my impression here with the handling is it's got a really good feel to it. This is the first time I've actually ever driven a Ford Edge, so I can't compare it to the older generations, but I do like the way the steering wheel feels. It's not super light and loose, but it's not hard and tight to steer either. It's a very comfortable feeling. Exactly what you're going to want daily driving this thing as a family vehicle. The braking in here, just as important as the acceleration, and more important, coming to a stop right there, it feels good. It's not super soft and spongy. It gives you some bite right away. It's pretty easy to modulate. One thing that I've really noticed in my short time with this thing is that it seems to be pretty quiet. And I don't have this for a week like some of my other vehicles to test with my decibel ratings on the same road surfaces. But just driving it around town, a little bit of highway action, it's very quiet in here. And part of that is standard on all trims is we get a laminate steering wheel, a laminate windshield that helps to block out some sound. And on our trim, we've got laminated glass on these front doors, so that helps to drown out some of that noise, which it seems to be making a big difference. Another little acceleration run right here. And again, it's not gonna throw you back in your seat, not quite that fast, but it's quick for a big SUV like this. And obviously it's not real big, but for a 2-row, you still want to get some good pickup and some good go, and you got that here. Our model is front-wheel drive, so we don't have quite the traction or torque vectoring, but you can get all-wheel drive that actually has a disconnect to where it's gonna help it be more fuel efficient. Now getting up to speed again, just light throttle. You really don't have to push down a lot to get that torque to come out, which is really nice. I think this would be a great daily driver. It's quiet, it's comfortable, it's very easy to drive around. You've got quite a few features on here as well. So honestly, if you're even considering some lower tier luxury vehicles in the $45,000 to $55,000 range, take a look at this, because you've got good space, you've got good functionality of a mainstream SUV, good storage space, it's still comfortable, you've got cooled seats, you've got a panoramic roof, you don't have a complete surround view camera, but you've got a nice functional camera where you can still see out the front. So overall, this thing offers a lot for the features and for the class. And for this redesigned 2019 model, I want to know what you guys think of the looks. Ford was going for a sportier look in the front and the back, and I think that they've accomplished that without sacrificing too much of the shape that it had before. Now, if you are considering the Ford Edge, the SE is a little bit bare on its features, but the SEL does give you quite a bit, which is the mid trim. And typical with Ford, you can put a lot of options on it. There's several packages, especially the convenience package, that gives you quite a few features that some of you would want in the titanium, but you don't want to spend as much to get the titanium. Now, if you all want to see the Ford Edge ST, the performance model, all-wheel drive, all that horsepower and torque, please leave your comments down below. Let me know. I'll see if I can get my hands on one. Thank y'all so much for watching. That's going to wrap this thing up. Let me know what you think. Subscribe for weekly videos. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Have a great day.